What up, y'all? It's your boy Ben here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. I'm super excited because we've just finished up another round of huge events and tournaments this weekend, with tournaments ranging of 600 players to the biggest one almost eclipsing 2,000 players. So let's go ahead with new tournaments closing up. That means we have a new meta report, so let's go ahead and dive in. And before we get into everything, y'all, just want to announce the winner for our giveaway. That's right, it is Blank Uchiha for the win. Congratulations, I'm excited for that. If you all want to participate in future giveaways, because we're going to be doing those on the channel, because it's great to give back, make sure that you like, subscribe, and definitely hit the notification bell button so you do not miss out on anything. All right, y'all, let's dive in. So it's seeming like Gyarados may be like the front runner for best deck in the format right now. It won the 1900 player tournament, and it also came in second in tournaments that were like around 600 players as well. So it's really showing its consistency, being able to have that Judgedon in the front while you're building up your Gyarados energy, attacking and dealing down with Greninja. So by the time that your Gyarados does come up with its high HP of 180, it literally clears everything with its 140 HP and is able to survive so much. The other contender here for being one of the best decks in the format is Pikachu, and like, this is awesome because I think one of the main things that Pikachu has a strength in is that it is able to deal with Gyarados right away because of the Zebstrika. Magikarp's HP is 30, so like getting your Zebstrika up and being able to snipe it from the back automatically takes away that threat of the Gyarados. Plus you have the typing advantage. This deck is running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 basics, so your bench is typically full all the time, and so therefore you are dealing a consistent 90 damage. And so there's power in that. If you flip a coin, they're either stuck and being paralyzed or they're losing 200 health. I mean, Pikachu is super strong, and with these Mythical Island cards, it definitely has gotten the tools to stay on top. And speaking of staying on top and using the tools from Mythical Island, this is another variation that did really well in the tournaments. This one actually won one of the 600 player tournaments, and it's running Galvantula. I think this idea of trapping the opponent with Galvantula, dealing 70 and or 80 or 90 if it's going against a water deck, proves to be really strong. They're still running the core of Pikachu, Zapdos, and Zebstrika, and replacing the Electabuzz and the Dedenne with these folks, and also taking away a Zapdos EX. I still like the first build of it, but hey, who am I to say innovation is wrong, especially when this has been able to win a tournament doing so. Now we're just going to see if this is something that can continue to thrive and build on the results that it had. Charizard is back, baby. That's right. This thing has had top 4 finishes, coming in second, notably in the Ursi Day tournament that features 1,950 something odd players in it, which means it navigated the likes of Mewtwo, of Gyarados, which did lead to its downfall, but like the Pikachus and all the other meta decks in here. And so that's really exciting to see that like cards from the first season or from the first set can still really take place. There was a lot of hype around Gyarados EX, deservedly so, and Charizard's really still here saying like, hey, I can still do things, I can still put up results, and it was great to see that across the board over the weekend. This notably is running 2 Growlithe. Before it was usually only running 1, but you're looking for consistency with your basics, and that's really awesome to see that you get there and they get to upgrade this deck with Leaf. Leaf is such an amazing card to really pivot in between your Arcanines or your Moltres to get to not lose your tempo and still power up your powerful attackers in the back. Notably, this deck is running something a little differently. You still have your core of Moltres and Charizard for 2 of each, but you have instead 1 Growlithe, 1 Arcanine, and 1 Mew EX. Notably, this Mew EX is a really good tech card, and it's very interesting to see that this is another variation of the Charizard deck, using Mew as just like your 3rd main attacker if you need to, being able to be flexible as well if you're either not able to get like the high rolls goes with the Moltres. I think what's actually really cool is that you can Inferno Dance, focus on Arcanine and Charizard while you're using your regular energy to build up your Mew. So simultaneously you're building up two attackers, which is really strong in that sense if you can get Mew on the board. Once again, really pivoting and using Leaf here, but notably being able to run Potion and X Speed, so the pivoting game is strong with this deck. If you're looking to see consistency, Mewtwo continues to provide that. It is notably, this is just kind of like the core of Mewtwo EX and Gardevoir, but we're seeing here that it's just running the Mew EX primarily for the mirrors because you can ramp up much easier into dealing with that side drive. But what's also really essential in this mirror is that you're running blues, so in case you do have a Mew EX who you see that your opponent is building up, you hit that Mew, they attack you for 140, you're able to survive that, clap them back for the 150, and now you're on top of what they were trying to build up as well. Mythical Slab being a huge bonus for them as well, really being able to draw these psychic cards, and notably, like, there's still room for a red card here, but I just feel like maybe you get another Giovanni, or maybe you get another blue if you feel like you're running into a lot of Mewtwo's. I'm a fan of playing more cards that feel like more utility wise, and so that'd be like my only change with this deck, but otherwise Mewtwo is doing pretty well. Fighting decks look like they are here to stay, and I'm kind of really excited for what the new set at the end of January is going to bring the end of this month, because we've already starting to see how well Mythical Island has been able to boost up this energy type that felt like it could do something, but now it got its full push. These are your Aerodactyls, the Mythical Island Primates, and your Marshadow here. Again, all getting the strengths of like what Pikachu could do, which in all that their retreats are all one cost, so your X speeds are able to pivot there. Your Hitmonlees are attacking everything that's in the back, so Charmanders, your Magikarps and things like that are not, your Ralts are not safe when it comes to the fighting decks, and having this ability to not evolve and using Sabrina can really disrupt your opponent and making them lose energy, so that way they can like retreat back and stay safe. And if any of these go down, is 1 point. You bring in Marshadow, attack for 100, and then use Aerodactyl as a consistent 2 energy 80 damage dealer. Fantastic. Also, when I said that they were doing well, this deck went 10-3 to make a top finish, which is awesome. So interestingly enough, people are trying to make Celebi work, and after the showings of this weekend, we're starting to see a little life into this deck again. It had a top 16 finish, it finished in a top 5 placing, and another one finished as the top 3. So we're getting more and more results here, and I really do think that is because of Executor EX. Yes, your Celebi can high roll with the ability of Superior, but what you really needed is ways to make sure that you can set these up in the back and also put heavy pressure on your opponent, and that is where Executor EX comes in. That high HP of 160 with the benefit of Erica in the back, that 1 energy cost for 40 or 80 damage if you flip heads, gives you room to build Celebi EX without even needing Superior as well. Yes, it's nice to roll 20, but like you can still do a lot of damage with 5 or with 6 as well too. So having this tank that's early, that loves to go first as well, can easily put early pressure and sometimes wins you the game just outright. A deck that was once being clamored about at the start of the set kind of petered off, and it's actually really amazing to see that the Weezing and Scolipede deck, when piloted well, can still make a splash. This deck went 8-2 before they dropped, because they probably see that they couldn't have made it into the top finish, but still pretty good run for them, and like really hoping to see if this deck can again make a great splash. Because of the darkness typing, you have an advantage against Mewtwo decks. You still have high HP when dealing against Pikachu and the like, so you can do things here. And what's really cool is that their third attacker is Mew EX, which can be pretty powerful into those bigger meta threats. And this deck is just the loving of the bounce, so you are running Kogas, you are running Buddy Expeditioners, you are running Leaf, to really be able to pivot easily from either going and poisoning and then doing that on 120 damage, or dealing enough damage so that way Mew can finish them off. Another deck that is like on the come up, and I really hope people do well with this. This deck went 8-2 as well, and it's just a Blastoise deck. What's really awesome is that you don't necessarily need to be all in on Blastoise EX, which is lovely. Misty High Rolls obviously can win you the game of being able to deal 160 damage right away with the Hydro Bazooka. However, if you set up this Tauros here against EXs, this is worth only 1 point. You're able to deal 120. Giovanni being a 2-of in here is super important and can't be cut, because this allows you to knock out things like Celebi. This allows you to knock out things like Mew EX, and then if you're able to chip damage away with a Jirajigon, or even going from a Leaf into, you know, I hit for 100 before they hit me, I Leaf out, I then go back into Tauros. There's a lot of pivot points that you can deal here where Blastoise EX doesn't have to be your only attacker. It's really cool to hit them with the Hydro Bazooka, but you can be reliant on your Tauros, which makes this deck really sweet. And last but not least, what I have for you all gamers is an oldie but a goodie, Articuno and Greninja here. You have your Articuno EX, second high roll, you know, first turn with your Misties. Obviously, if you miss that, you can play a fair game with your Jirajigon up front, building up your Blizzard in the back while also following up with your lines with Greninja. This is constantly dealing damage to your bench and also into your active spot. So it's really cool if you can get these things online, because you're attacking everywhere and putting pressure everywhere, because you're spreading out that damage that it really puts your opponent in a tough spot. So that's what we have for this week, y'all. We're really seeing Gyarados and Greninja cementing themselves as one of the best decks. Pikachu and Substriker are knocking on that door saying, hello, I'm here, while Charizard's trying to be not the forgotten child. And then we're also starting to see a lot of different mods and different experimentations being able to come through with Mythical Island because of cards like Tauros and Jirajigon, really making some of these stage 2s that weren't being able to be played in the first season now being able to take their time and find consistency and being able to be played now. This has been great to see how people are continuing to evolve decks and be creative, and I just can't wait to see what next brings. Like always, if you enjoyed this, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, click that notification bell button. Until the next one, y'all, we'll catch you. Peace.